Hi, I'm Kirsty and these are my tips on Bakasana, crow pose. Make sure you have 2 blocks and then we'll begin. Okay, so before you begin, make sure that you have done some shoulder openers, you have worked on the core and that you have moved the spine, so something like cat and cow would be appropriate. So just really make sure that you're warmed up in the body. With the crow pose, there are various ways you can come into it because we're all made up so differently anatomically. But I would suggest having 2 blocks if you're just beginning and popping them on the mat about hip width apart. This way, when you step on them, it gives you a little bit more height. You can really connect into the core. You can really feel that lift through the tailbone and lifting up, rounding through the spine. You can also get your knees much higher up on the arms. So coming up onto your blocks and turn your toes slightly outward, take your arms forwards and bringing the hands back on the mat. You can see that I've got my knees quite high up on my arms. If you're finding that you are squeezing just onto the elbows, lift up. Take a little bit of lift round through the spine and you want to hug the knees onto the outside of the arms. There are a couple of ways to do the crow, but just bear with me for this one. Squeeze into the upper outside edges of the arms. Hasta bandha is fully connected, so remember pressing down through the 4 corners of the palm. You're energetically pulling up through the palm of the hand, so feeling really deeply connected into your hasta bandha. If you're finding it tricky to get the height, lift your core, lift your tailbone up slightly. The blocks should be able to help you with this lift. You're starting to lean forward, squeeze the knees onto the outside edges of your arms and look forwards, always gazing forward. Don't look down because your head is so heavy you'll end up clunking down onto the mat. Okay, so there's this lift action and pulling everything into the midline. You're sucking up through the core, okay, so everything is active. Okay, so you're lifting up, pulling through the core, squeezing to the midline, looking forwards, and lifting up. If that feels good to you, you can remove the blocks. Feet are hip width apart, toes turning out to the side. Reach the hands forwards, slide them back along the mat. Notice that I'm lifting up as I pull them back and start to lean forwards. Okay, always lifting, and there comes this point where the toes want to lift up off the ground. Okay, so Stiram Sukham Asanam, steady, easeful seat. Not necessarily always so in crow. However, you can start to bring that into the practice. Rather than jumping into it, you start to lean forwards, feel everything connected, feeling really strong and coming forwards. And there's this natural lift. Have fun playing with it. Protect your wrists. Make sure that you do some wrist circles afterwards or place them on your hips or on the mat. Have fun playing.